United have finally won a game in the Premier League. It's Ruben Amorim's 5th Premier League win, which sounds awful, doesn't it? But what could I complain? We have just won a game of football. It was a drab in that second half. We had to really, really battle it out. But before we give you my match reaction, I would love to know, who is your man of the match from today's game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you know what the most disappointing thing is about this game was? I actually think we played quite well in the first half. Once we got it back to 2-1, there was like a 10-minute period where we were just passing the ball around. We had like 70, 80% possession and we were just completely dominating them. And then the red card changed the game. And I really feel for Patrick Dorgu, because before Patrick Dorgu got that red card, he was the best player on the pitch. He was our best player. He looked absolutely phenomenal. And it's just one of those, isn't it? Like, there was no malice in Patrick Dorgu's tackle. He did get a little bit of the ball. He did touch the ball. But obviously it was a red card. There's no arguments. I feel sorry for him. This obviously means he will miss the next 3 games, I think it is. So he'll miss the Fulham game. He will miss, I think it is the Arsenal game, I think. And what's the other one? I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, he's going to miss 3 games. But it doesn't affect Europe, which is decent. So Patrick Dorgu will be available for the Real Sociedad game. He'll miss the Fulham game, the Arsenal game, and what's the other one? Leicester in the Premier League. So at least he's still available for Europe. I mean, that's a positive, isn't it? Gives him a little bit of a break. That game's only next week, remember? So at least he'll be fully fit and available for that Real Sociedad game, which is absolutely massive next week away from home. In relation to Fulham on the weekend, I mean, that probably means that you're going to see Mazraoui and Dalot as your kind of 2 wing-backs. But let's just focus on today's game and let's kind of go through the team. I thought Andre Onana was absolutely awful again. I honestly, watching Andre Onana play, I don't understand how he is a goalkeeper and how he's made it this far as a professional goalkeeper. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really watch Inter Milan that much, so I don't know whether he was the same at Inter Milan, but I assume not if we then spent 50 million on him. And I know he was a very in-demand goalkeeper, wasn't he? And they got to a Champions League final with him, so he can't have been this bad. Is it the pressure? I don't know. I have no idea. Whenever you see interviews with Andre Onana, he seems very confident. He seems like he knows what he's doing. He seems like he can deal with the pressure, but you watch him on the pitch and like, it looks like you've had to put your centre-back in goal or your midfielder. He looks like an outfield player in the goal. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, yeah, Onana was awful. I thought De Ligt had a good game. I thought Maguire had a good game. Dalot is just Dalot. I don't rate Dalot at all. I think he's bang average. He was poor as usual. Ugarte, I thought was solid. Bruno, solid. I think Bruno got 2 assists. We got 3 goals from corners today, which is mad. I don't remember the last time we scored from a set piece. But yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't the most enjoyable game of football to watch. I think, as I said, there was moments in that first half where we played quite well, and obviously the red card changed the game, which is disappointing, because I honestly think that if we hadn't have got that red card, I think this could have been like 3 or 4-1 in the end. But as soon as you get a red card in the first half, you know, it's kind of park the bus. And we know, we've said this before, that these players aren't bad when you park the bus. It's when you try and do something a little bit more creative, they struggle. And we parked the bus in that second half, and I think Ipswich had maybe 1 shot in the second half. They had lots of corners. They didn't really create much. So, yeah, we completely nullified anything that Ipswich could offer. The big headline, I guess this probably means that relegation is now like not a conversation anymore, which I know some people think is laughable. But we are now on 33 points, which means we are 16 points above Ipswich with 11 games to play. So there's 33 points left to play for, and we're 16 points ahead of them. So, I mean, even if we were to lose every single game from now until the end of the season, which won't happen, but let's just say we do, Ipswich would still have to win just to catch up with us. They would have to win like 5 games? No, more. 6 games. Ipswich would have to win 6 out of their last 11 games to catch up with us. It's not going to happen, but Yeah. So is that positive? Is that something to shout about? Not really, but I guess it kind of puts to bed that whole conversation about relegation. Anything higher than top 10, I think, is probably unrealistic. Aston Villa are on 42 points. They're 10th. I don't think we're going to get to. We might. I don't think we're going to get to 42 points. It's embarrassing, isn't it? In relation to man of the match, who would I give the man of the match? I thought Lenny Yoro was really good today. I thought Bruno's always kind of consistent, isn't he? I know he frustrates people, but I think did he get all 3 assists today? Bruno Fernandes. Let's have a little look. He got 1 assist. He got 1 assist for the Harry Maguire goal. I'd probably give the man of the match to Lenny Yoro, to be honest. I thought he was decent today. There was a couple of moments in that game where Lenny Yoro really impressed me. So, yeah. I'm just having a look at the rest of the scores. Arsenal drew. The Premier League title race is over, isn't it? Realistically. Liverpool are now 13 points clear. Yeah, it's over. Mad, isn't it? But yeah, who's your man of the match? What did you take away from that game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Very interested to see. Harry says, I was at the match today. Do you know anything about why Bayinder's not involved? Apparently Bayinder's injured. Yeah, Bayinder's injured apparently, so that's why he's not involved. Which is annoying because I think Bayinder would actually get some game time at the moment because there is no defending Andre Onana. I have nothing to say that can defend Onana. He is literally a disaster. He is, as I keep saying to you, he doesn't look like a goalkeeper to me. There is nothing I see in him traits-wise that make me believe he's a goalkeeper. He genuinely looks like you've stuck a centre-back in goal. I just don't get it. And I hope and pray that we can maybe move him on, but I just think the likelihood of that is probably quite slim. But yeah, I'm going with Lenny Yoro or Bruno as my man of the match for me personally. I think either of them were decent. Somebody in the chat saying, do you think we'll go on a bit of a run now? We can hope. We've got Fulham on the weekend. That's going to be a difficult game, but if we beat them, we'll go through to the quarterfinal? We still are in 2 cup competitions, so we have to just aim to do that. As long as we don't lose in against Real Sociedad, I think we could maybe go back to Old Trafford and get a win, maybe. But, a run is possible. Arsenal have nothing to play for now. Realistically, the title is over. So the next 3 or 4 games, it goes from being Arsenal, we're never going to win, to maybe we do beat Arsenal. And I know that sounds a little bit wayward, but we did get a draw again. Sorry, we beat them, didn't we, in the FA Cup? We know how to play against Arsenal. We know how to play against teams like Real Sociedad. We park the bus and we hit on the counter-attack. That's what has to happen. For me, those next 3 games, or even those next 4 games, Fulham, Real Sociedad, Arsenal, and Real Sociedad again, I'd be parking the bus and hitting on the counter attack. I don't even care, because if we don't do that and we try and outplay them, we're going to lose. It's as simple as that. We've got a manager who's only been here for 2 months, and we've got a set of players that still don't really understand how to play his style of football, right? So you have 2 options: either you park the bus, which we know works. Ollie did it and got lots of good results, didn't we, under Ollie? Park the bus, hit on the counter-attack, or you try and outplay them, and we're not going to outplay them. So hopefully that happens in these next few games. We have won a game of football, though, which is, I guess, a positive, isn't it? It does feel nice to win a game of football, to get 3 points on the board. And now I think we can stop talking about relegation, which is good. Ipswich looked like a team that probably should be relegated. They didn't. They played against us, and we had 10 men for... When did he get sent off? Was it like the 40th minute? It doesn't actually say on my thing. I think it was about the 43rd minute he got sent off. So we played with 10 men for like 50 minutes, maybe even longer, including extra time. And they didn't really create much, did they? I'm just having a look at the stats. We had 6 shots on target. They only had 3 all game. Which is, it's our XG was 1.5, theirs was 0.7. So their expected goals wasn't even 1 because both of their goals were just dodgy, whereas ours was 1.5, which is still not great, but it's better, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We have won. Let's enjoy this moment. I know people will say it's only Ipswich, but I don't care. A win's a win. Have a good evening. I'll be back tomorrow morning with all of the latest news. Don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.